Everything I'm about to share with you comes from the book Inner Work by Robert A. Johnson, a brilliant Jungian analyst who left behind a powerful method for understanding what your dreams are really trying to say. Now, this isn't going to be a lecture on Jungian psychology. Instead, think of this video as a hands-on, a simple, step-by-step method to start decoding your dreams today. But before we begin, if you're not familiar with the idea of the unconscious mind, don't worry, I'll explain what you need to know. And if you're already familiar with it, feel free to skip ahead using timestamps. To put it simply, imagine your unconscious as the vast hidden part of your mind that is constantly at work behind the scenes. It is the primary source of all that evolves into your conscious mind and the total personality of each individual. It shapes your feelings, your beliefs, your attitudes, your desires, etc. But the tricky part is, as Jung himself once said,
his consciousness can be described. His unconscious cannot be described
Right.
because the unconscious, as I must repeat myself, is always unconscious.
Yeah.
And it is really unconscious, but really does not knowing.
many people underestimate this. While people can believe in the idea of the unconscious mind, none of us really knows what actually goes inside each individual's unconscious. Otherwise, it wouldn't be unconscious. So, how do you access the unconscious mind? That's where dreams comes into play. Contrary to most modern beliefs, dreams are not random or meaningless images that you see when you're asleep. Think of dreams like letters from your unconscious mind trying to send you a message. But the problem is, dreams don't communicate in a semantic language. They speak in symbols. And it's your job to decode what they mean. That's where Robert A. Johnson's 4-step dream analysis method comes in. Step 1. Making associations. First, grab a notebook, visualize a dream, and go through it image by image. Who or what showed up? People, places, objects, colors, animals, even feelings, moods, or specific phrases. Now, for each dream image, ask yourself, what feeling do I have about this dream image? What words or ideas come to mind when I look at it? Is there a memory, a thought, a sensation that shows up with this? Your association can be any word, idea, mental picture, feeling, or memory. Basically anything that gets triggered by that dream image. It doesn't matter how far-fetched the association seems to you. So it's really important that you don't censor anything. Make direct association with the dream image. For example, say you dreamt of the color blue. Don't go off on a mental tangent like blue, sadness, hospital, Aunt Jenny, apple pie, and warm kitchen. These type of associations are what Freud called free association. Instead, you want to make direct associations like this. Blue could be cool, detached, sad, I've got the blues, my blue sweater, you get the idea. Whatever it is, write it down, even if it feels silly, especially if it feels silly. Because usually the obvious one is not the correct association, but the one that might seem off the wall turns out to be the one. After you've laid out several associations for each dream image, how do you make sure which one to go with? Jung had a simple solution for this. It's using the it clicks method. As you go through all your associations, certain associations will click more than others, and you'll know when you're onto something. This is an intuitive process, not a rational one, so don't overthink. Trust your intuition and go with the one where you feel the most energy. Some people use archetypal amplification to find the association of dream images. It's a process of gathering information about the archetypes that appear in your dreams by going to sources such as myths, fairy tales, and ancient religious traditions. But if you're just starting out, I recommend you stick to your personal associations. As Robert A. Johnson writes, strictly speaking, it should not be necessary for anyone to get involved in researching myths, comparative religion, alchemy, and so forth in order to find a universal level of meaning for a symbol. Step 2. Understanding the dynamics. Now that you've got your raw symbols and associations, it's time to connect them into your real life. For each dream image and the association you made, ask yourself, what part of me is this image describing? Where have I seen this pattern in my waking life? Who is it inside of me that feels or behaves like that? Until you can find the actual examples from your life that correspond with that dream image, you can't go further this step. Observe your beliefs, attitudes, and values because dreams constantly speak to us about our underlying beliefs and attitudes that we are not consciously aware of. For example, if you see an image of an angry man yelling at you in your dream, ask yourself, where have I felt that kind of anger lately? Maybe you've been bottling up your frustration at work and haven't spoken up, so your anger takes the form of this aggressive dream figure. That angry man isn't someone else. He's a part of you that wants to explode. He is a part of you that you've ignored. The more you ignore to look at these underlying traits, the harsher the dream image acts out. Establish your personal dynamic with each dream image. A dog in your dream could refer to the human tendency to follow the pack, but on the other hand, a dog could also represent loyalty. It could refer to a noble quality in you. Sometimes a dog could be a warning sign in your life. Therefore, it is necessary to establish personal dynamics of your life with all these dream images. As Robert A. Johnson writes, for as I have been emphasizing so strongly, the real connections between your dream symbols and your inner life can only truly come out of you, out of your fertile soil of your own unconscious. Again, this is personal work, so don't resort to Google to find out the meaning of your dreams. Step 3. Interpretation. Now pause, breathe, and reflect on everything you've written, because this is the step where you finally tie everything together and decode the message that the dream is trying to get across. Ask yourself, what is the dream trying to tell me? What is it advising me to do? What is the single most important insight that the dream is trying to get across to me? And the crucial part is, you need to actually write down the interpretations to get a feel of it. When you begin to interpret the dream, don't expect your interpretations to come out in a coherent form in the first try. Just write down your ideas about how you think the entire dream fits together and the meaning that it has for your life, and keep working until it makes sense and fits with the overall pattern of events in the dream. When a dream presents multiple possible meanings, write each one down. Seeing them all on a paper helps reveal which interpretations truly connect to your life. The right meaning will feel alive and energized, sparking new insights and linking to other parts of your experience, while the wrong one will feel dull and disconnected. If you're stuck between two interpretations, argue each side, fully defend one, then the other, until the truth or balanced synthesis reveals itself. Furthermore, here are 4 principles to validate your interpretation. 1. Choose an interpretation that shows something you didn't know. Always remember that the main function of a dream is to communicate something to you that you're unaware of. Assume that the dream has come to challenge you, help you grow, and wake you up, not validate your consciously held beliefs. However, there's one exception to this rule. Sometimes your dreams will send you the same basic message over and over again, but either you won't understand it or put it to practice. In that case, the dream may seem to repeat something you already know. 2. Avoid the interpretation that inflates your ego. Dreams don't report messages that satisfies your ego. If you find yourself writing an interpretation that's making you feel wonderful and self-congratulatory, then likely the interpretation is not accurate. 3. Avoid interpretations that shift the responsibility away from yourself. Your dreams are not concerned with pointing out the flaws in other people or where other people need to change. This is where many people misinterpret their dreams. When they see someone in their dream that they hate, they think that it's that person's fault, or it's your version of that person showing up in your dreams. That is not true. Your dreams are only concerned about you. Everything you see in your dream is about what's happening in your unconscious, not someone else. 4. Learn to live with your dreams. Over time, fit them into a long-term flow of your life. If after all the work you've done, you still can't determine one interpretation of the dream, then consent to live with it for a while. Accept the ambiguity of the dream. You can just say to yourself, it may mean this or it may mean that. Only time will tell. Such dreams are usually connected to the future, the seeds of which are already contained in you now. Give yourself some time and keep returning to the dream from time to time, and it will become clear. Step 4. The ritual. This is the step that most people miss, and it's the one that matters the most. A ritual is a physical response to the dream. It's sending a nod back to the unconscious, saying, yeah, I heard you, and I'm going to do something about it. But there has to be a physical act. Without performing a ritual, even if you're aware of the message of the dream, your psyche still won't be aligned. Tony Wolfe, a colleague of Jung, once said, People can analyze for 20 years and nothing below the neck is aware that anything is going on. You have to do something about it. Do something with your muscles. So how do you know which ritual to perform? First of all, remember that there's no set of pre-established rituals made for any particular dream. Use your imaginations and come up with a ritual that will honor a particular dream. Each ritual have to be specific and peculiar. The best rituals are usually solitary, small, and silent because they're the ones that register most deeply with the unconscious. It could be writing a letter, lighting a candle, burning something, visiting a place, etc. But it has to be custom made and you have to perform the ritual consciously. Only when you consciously act in some way in the honor of your dream it will register to your unconscious. Otherwise, the whole interpretation won't really matter. When you can't think of anything to do, just go out and walk around the block in the honor of your dreams. Usually, using some common sense will give you an idea of which ritual to perform. Remember that the dream is about you, so don't involve other people in your ritual. Don't use dreams as a license to act out or confront other people. Instead, act in. Take the ritual inwardly. The idea of dream analysis might seem archaic or old-fashioned in the modern day, but it remains one of the most effective ways to connect with parts of yourself that you aren't aware of. It's not an exact science, it's a very personal, messy, and complicated process, but that's what gives it its power. Robert A. Johnson's 4-step method provides a practical starting point for the dream interpretation that you can use it right away. And remember not to skip the ritual. In inner work, Johnson also offers his own accessible method for active imagination, which is another technique to directly talk to your unconscious mind, originally developed by Carl Jung himself. I'll be making a video about that in the future, so subscribe to the channel to stay updated. And thank you for watching.